What's up guys, it's Calysta. Today I am excited to talk to you guys about a new game that's coming out very soon called Goosebumps. Now, you guys are probably familiar with Goosebumps. They've been around forever. It's kind of like this scary movie slash book series. It started as books long ago. Some of you guys might remember it when you were kids. And they've come out with a new game, super cute. I think a lot of you guys that are wondering about gaming recommendations for your kids or for your little cousins, your nieces, nephews, this is totally an awesome game for them to get into, and it also leads them to read the books, right? And they can watch the movies, so it's really cool. And if you're interested in downloading it, I am going to include a link down below so you can easily download the game, and you can play it both on Android and on Apple, which is awesome. Now, the premise of the game is pretty simple. You're basically going to be trying to do two things. The first one is you're going to try to build out a town. So in the very beginning of the game, you're going to notice you have a lot of empty space, right? So the very first thing that they're going to have you do is basically build the house of the first kind of occupant, and that's going to be the first character in the game called Lucy, who you see running around there in yellow. And then you're going to very quickly be prompted to build Dustin's house, who's going to be basically her kind of across the street neighbor. And the whole point of this game is as you're kind of building out this town, these kids are basically exploring their town because they know that there is something, a la Goosebumps, something going on, something weird. The adults are kind of not what they appear, right? As usually is the case in a lot of these kind of kid stories. And in this case, it's the librarian. So you're able to control all the characters in the game. Very early on, you're going to have Lucy, Dustin, and the librarian, who you're seeing there on the screen, who has a thing for eating roaches, which is weird, and that should tell you that he's not quite normal, right? So the kind of underlying thing is that as you're kind of leveling up your town, things get kind of spookier and creepier, right? So you do get the option, and this is one of my favorite things in the game, is you do get the option to kind of let monsters loose. Sometimes the adults themselves will turn into monsters, so the librarian will turn into a monster. One of the other characters that you unlock, Mrs. Dark, also turns into a monster, and they'll basically run around the town scaring people, and as they scare people, you're able to get scare points. So if you look at the very top bar, those are kind of the things that you're keeping track of, right? You can see here I just leveled up to level 10, and I'm probably going to start kind of picking up all the things that I've crafted. So there's crafting in the game. And when you craft things, they're going to give you both experience, which you can see kind of right now there's a 10 and it looks kind of slimy. And they also give you gold, and you can use that gold to unlock additional parts of the map. Now, there's also a fortune teller in the game that is going to give you kind of freebies. There's a pawn shop. So as you're crafting different materials, and you get those materials by basically doing different actions in the game, you're able to sell it for gold. And again, the purpose of gold is to be able to unlock more characters, etc. This is really cool. I just unlocked at level 10 the graveyard, and you can see that we can basically spawn a whole bunch of zombies, and the zombies are in essence going to kind of run through the town. You can see some of the people just kind of casually walking through, and there's a variety of different monsters that you can unlock in addition to people becoming monsters. This is a really funny animation. You can kind of see them, they just start tearing through the town, and you get additional kind of scare points every time they scare someone. So you kind of go ahead, you pick up that kind of screaming face, and you can see right now I'm at 13%. As you kind of progress and you get additional percentage points, you do unlock different things. So you're able to get not only gold but experience, but you're also able to get dollars. Dollars are a lot harder to get in the game. Right now I have 12, and again, you can use those very similarly. This was another kind of really cute part. There's a gnome garden. Gnomes are kind of freaky. They freak me out. And you can decide to spawn them again across the town. So this is a really cool game. There's a lot going on. As you progress in the game, you're able to unlock new territories, new buildings, and new monsters. Think this is a really nice tie-in to the books. I was a huge fan of the books when I was a kid, so it was kind of cool to kind of see this come full circle. I think a lot of kids are going to enjoy this because it's scary. There's kind of the shock value. It's really funny when the adults are kind of running through or running away from the monsters. And it shows you kind of the basic premises, right? So if you think about games, there's kind of crafting, there's selling, there's making sure that you're performing your quests. Those are kind of the different activities that each of the characters can do. So pretty solid game overall, where there's a ton of things that you can kind of do. I would say right now at level 10, I had a couple of things unlocked. You guys saw that I unlocked the graveyard. I also unlocked the library. I think I had a toy shop and a school right there. I'm making, I believe it is part of the urbanization plan. So the funny thing is, there's a story in all of this, right? So they're trying to make this a popular town and they're trying to sell the property, but then they keep seeing these like weird things that keep happening. So that's kind of like what you're dealing with. And you'll notice when you look at the quest for each of the characters, they're very much in sync with who they are. So Lucy is by far the investigative, young lady. She's searching for clues. She's constantly looking up stuff. Dustin, not so much. And Marty, who's kind of like he's almost like the bully, right? Like he'll work a half shift in a grocery shop, or he'll like do tricks on his BMX. You can actually put down a bike ramp to have him do those tricks. And again, every time that they do something, you're able to turn that into gold and experience with the end purpose of unlocking additional parts of the map. You can kind of see all the different monsters that exist in the game, and you can see that there's a variety of different ways to purchase them. Some of them require dollars, some of them will require gold. It's the same thing with the decorations, same thing with like the spooky decorations. The thing with the spooky decorations, however, which I'm going to click on right now, is spooky decorations actually will help you with your fright points or your scare points. You can see, for example, the angel statue is going to give you 20 fright points. For the most part, a lot of like the scary statue stuff you can actually purchase with gold, which is much, much easier to accumulate. You just have to kind of stay on top of your quests. Again, super cute game. I think definitely recommend it. If you have kids, if you have, little nieces, nephews, little cousins, definitely something that they can kind of have fun with and play around with and ask your advice on. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is Goosebumps, and I'm going to include the link to download below. Thanks so much for watching.